won't shoot me down soon. Racing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon.
Welcome to the 2022 season of MidEast Racing. We are back at Deer Haven in Union, South Carolina for their first race of the season. Last year's race was an absolute mutter. It was cold, rainy, and just overall miserable. However, this year the conditions look perfect. Sunny and 60 degrees on Saturday. It gets down into the 40s on Sunday, but overall perfect conditions for racing. We even got a little bit of rain on Sunday morning to battle the dust. Saturday for the quads, parts of the track were tacky and wet, other parts of the track were a little bit dry and dusty, but overall it led to some high-flying fast fun. This track features a little bit of something for everyone, including multiple hill climbs, creek crossings, and even a motocross track. To kick off the 2022 season, Wesley Stanley got off to a quick start in the micro ATV race, getting the whole shot and setting an awesome pace early on. Meanwhile, Josiah Wimpish got into some traffic going into the woods just off the start and would end up in 9th place after the first lap. However, he would mount a comeback, fighting all the way back up to 2nd place by the end of the race. One of your last year title contenders, Caleb McAvey, ended up claiming 3rd. Going into the youth race, the top spot was up for grabs as last year's champion, Harrison Lindsay, has made it into the pro race. Jesse Stiles started out quick with the whole shot, but he would quickly fall back into 6th place right behind Jordan Berg, while Cody Whitaker would take 1st place by the end of the first lap. A battle would ensue and they would both end up fighting back, Jordan Berg snagging 1st place, Jesse Stiles getting 2nd place, and then Stetson Owens moving up into 3rd. From the 2nd row. In the pro quad race, Dylan Walraven will be back to defend his title from the 2021 season, starting on that pro row. Coming back to give him a run for his money are Weston Scott, and new to the pro division, Nathan Hondurelis, your AA expert champion from last year. Ronnie Rush got out to a great start and grabbed the whole shot. John Glada Jr. would claim 1st place by the end of the lap, and he would go on to claim the 1st place victory. Josh Merritt would end the first lap in 3rd place, however he would get into a tight battle with Brandon Owens over the next few laps. The battle for 2nd was brutal, and Josh and Brandon would trade places multiple times. In the end, Josh Merritt laid down the fastest lap time of the race with a 15:56 and claimed 2nd place as a result. The battle in youth UTV race continues from the 2021 season as Radley Adams and Colton Blanton wage war again. These two fought for 1st place every time they took the track last season, and this race was no different. Colton Blanton started the race strong, grabbed the whole shot for himself, and went to an early lead. However, Riley would be able to get around him by the end of the first lap. Colton stayed right on her tail the entire race. However, Riley was able to hold Colton back and claim 1st place herself. Finishing off the first day was the adult UTV race. Last year, the battle for the championship between Michael Presswood and Cooper Stewart was a great battle, and this year looked to be no different. Presswood would move through the field and take the lead early on and be able to hold the lead for the remainder of the race. Brian Siegel suddenly found himself in second place after second, third, and fourth all wrecked out, including Stewart and Johnson. Siegel would be able to finish out the race and claim second place, followed by Corey David in third. As we start Super Bowl Sunday with the Pee Wee Bikes, Grayson Gordon had bumped up to the youth division after his 2021 championship. Mason Moretz is back and looking to take that #1 plate for himself. That might not be such an easy task with some amazing competition from the likes of James Souders, Aiden Melton, and Maddox Wellborn looking to claim it for themselves. As soon as the green flag would drop, everyone would get off to a quick start. Aiden Melton was able to pull ahead early after getting the hole shot, followed closely by Maddox Wellborn into the woods, and then James Sowers. The race was a tight one, with Jamison getting past Aiden and getting himself into first place by the end of the first lap. He would be able to hold that position until he ran into some trouble in the fourth lap, falling all the way back into third place. Mason Moretz set a quick pace and was able to fight from third place to get himself into first by the end of the fourth lap, with only one slight hiccup on the fifth lap, but is still able to get himself in first place title. Up next would be your youth bike race. The top spot was also up for grabs as Caleb Fastlane has moved down to the later race. This year with Caleb Fastlane and Jet Leatherwood moving to later races, Caden Johnson looks like the clear-cut favorite. As soon as the green flag would drop, everyone launches from the line quickly, and Lennox Riley would get the hole shot just ahead of Caden Johnson. Caden would pass Lennox very early on, setting the fastest lap of the day and claiming first place. Braden Baisley in the 85 big wheel class was setting an insane pace. Working through the first few laps, he was able to claim first place by the fourth. Caden would hold on to second place for the next few laps. However, he would run into some trouble on the last lap, letting Ryan Emico get past him for second place. However, Caden would still hold on to the third spot on the podium. While the morning race may be mostly filled with amateurs, the best battle of the 2021 season had to be between Patrick Tobin, David James, and Scott Harwell. This year we're looking forward to much of the same. Patrick Tobin currently has that #1 plate over James and Harwell, and I'm certain those two will be looking to take it back. For the first race of the year, Scott Harwell will be unable to attend. It will be up to David James to thwart Patrick Tobin. When the green flag dropped, your title favorites David James and Patrick Tobin both had a terrible start, David James being last into the woods. Bodie Man would jump out for the early hole shot and take the lead into the woods. Despite his terrible start, David James would make his way through the field, getting into first place by the end of the first lap. A new challenger would emerge, Jet Leatherwood, who moved up from the youth race last year, would seemingly come out of nowhere and take the overall lead. Jet starts on the fourth row, and he would set a blistering pace and go on to win the race. David James never got past for that lead, however, Jet Leatherwood would still take the victory based on time. Patrick Tobin would round out the podium in third. The final race of the day had a stacked front row in the pro race division, with Jonathan Johnson back to defend his 21 title. Right beside Johnson on the start is his brother Brody, who just beat him last weekend. So we're certain he was looking to get some revenge. When the green flag would drop, the Johnson brothers did not get out to the blistering pace they wanted, and Grayson Lale would take the hole shot into the woods. Shortly after, Brody would close in and take the lead, with Jonathan right behind him. Unfortunately for Jonathan, his brakes would go out and he would have trouble early on the second lap. He would fall all the way back to fifth place. With an uphill battle, he would start running down the field, getting all the way up into second place, but running out of steam before he could catch his brother. Toby Cleveland would end up rounding out the podium with third place. After the first lap, Brody would really turn on the jets, setting a pace that would be unmatched, holding a comfortable lead for the remainder of the race. For the next race, we will be heading back to Harris Bridge, which we typically visit 2 times a year. Last year was a tale of 2 different races, the first one being a mud fest and a soaked weekend, and the second one being beautiful and sunny the entire way. This track is notorious for hill climbs, jumps, tight woods, and open, fast sections. Thank you for joining us this time at Deer Haven, and we look forward to seeing you all at Harris Bridge.